Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. I need to get up to date on the RLC models, the most recent releases, or better yet, the most recent arrivals. You know, we know with the RLC, it tends to be a little different. You buy something and sometimes the message you get back is you'll see it in a year. Other times you see that it's being processed and fulfilled and you're going to get it in just a matter of days. I tend to go on arrivals, right? We bought this Honda S2000, this Ryu Asada Tribute car several months ago, and it finally arrived over the last few weeks for most of us. Same thing with this 1962 Ford F100, and to a lesser extent, same thing with the 32 Ford. So they eventually arrive. When I do the Lamley Awards and we vote on the best RLC model of 2022, I do it on arrivals because some of those like selections models we basically purchased a year ago. So anyway, that's I'll explain more of that when we do the Lamley Awards. But let's just get right to it. I'm going to start with this one. I opened these up to put them in the displays. I didn't have these in time to give you previews before they came out. So I just am going to do it now. But I always like to showcase these, and I definitely like to put them in my RLC display. Open. So 1962 Ford F100. There is the artwork. Just love the this model. I just love the deco on this model. In fact, it might be time to show the first one. This was the first one. It's only been released 2 times. The first, I mean, could they look more different? I almost forgot that these were the same castings, right? The first one is that orange creamsicle look with the super wide white walls, which looks so cool. Really like the Specter Flame orange on this one with the white trim. This one has the opening hood that Brendan Vituski did. Let's see if I can get this thing open. There it is right now. We'll check the other one with the Ford deco. But the creamsicle one was very cool. And then it just takes on a completely different look with the deep steelies, different wheels on this one. Let me show you the back. There's the number. 30,000 is a typical number right now. 15,944, so smack dab in the middle. If you want to freeze that, you can. But most of you already have. I mean, if you're an RLC member and you wanted these, I think you probably already have this one, or it's coming. They seem to roll these out kind of differently. Like someone will get something real quick, and then you'll see others. I still think I have things that are back ordered from that still surprise me when they show up when I order them. Mattel does send me these. I buy them too. I have a membership, so I buy them when I can. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. So I think this might have been one of the ones that Mattel sent to preview, but this is one I definitely bought. I like to have the carded one too. Genuine Ford parts, sales and service. I just love this. Specter Flame blue with the white trim. Let me just show you the engine detailed, of course, and then we'll go ahead and close it and just have a look at the model itself. I just love this. The creamsicle is really cool and really fits as an RLC model. This Ford genuine parts, I think, trumps it by quite a bit, actually. I just think it's just so cool, so clean. The style on it is awesome. The fact that it's very clean in terms of its deco, it feels very retro and vintage, you know, in the way it looks. Sometimes they put kind of a more modern deco on a vintage car, and I don't like that at all. I actually think they should do kind of just the very straight block letters, almost make it look like it was hand-painted on the side of the car or the truck. And in that case, that's what they've done here, even though it's Specter Flame blue, which looks totally different. But I absolutely love this one. So we'll go ahead and put it here in our car show like this, I guess. All right. Let's do the 32 Ford. We'll finish off with the Ryu Asada stuff. 32 Ford is awesome. Here is the box. I already took the model out. Boxes, actually, some people are like, oh, wow, creative font. Get it? At the same time, I don't know, kind of like it that way. It's 32 Ford. Make it look plain on the outside box. I don't mind this at all. The deco on the inside box, it's okay, but it does seem a little like the deadline was imminent. I don't mean to be critical, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But the model itself is amazing. Absolutely, positively amazing. First thing you notice is all of the kind of the blister elements holding the car in place. There is no screws here. There's the numbers. Also in the middle, 13662 out of 30,000. No screws. I asked if this was something that RLC, I asked Jimmy over at Hot Wheels if this is something we're going to see, like they don't want to screw in as much. He says, no, it's only because they couldn't, the way this model is made, they can't put the screws, when they wanted to do this acrylic style, and they can't put the screws into the front rivet or something like that. So they had to do it this way. Some people might want it carded. I don't mind this, so let's just open it up. So if you haven't gotten this yet, and someone did warn me, they lost theirs too. It is not screwed in. Open it this way. You almost wonder if they should warn them. Yeah, so you want to open it, look at that, nothing there. And so if you open it this way, the car is going to come out right with it, and it might be on the floor. So it's something good to know. Get rid of all this plastic and just take a look at the model itself. Now, before we do, one previous release of this one as well, where they did it without the Specter Flame, which was very interesting. I wonder if this is something Brendan wanted to do. This 32 Ford is fantastic, and here's the cool thing. Not only does the wheels and the color look different, but if you look closely, two completely different engines. Brendan loves to get super creative on these castings, and whether it's opening parts or, you know, adjustable chassis or whatever. In this particular case, he constructed this so you could change the engine. Now, you customizers could take these apart and switch them out. They're riveted in, but you can see why they couldn't screw them in. But isn't that cool? And it really does. I mean, my goodness. For you gearheads, you can get into the engines. I am definitely not a gearhead, if that wasn't a secret. It ain't a secret. I get criticized for it all the time, but I'm not. But in this case, I look at the aesthetic, and the look changes, right? This has more, I mean, they're both hot rods, right? But this one has kind of a more classic. This is more of a hot rod. And the decals actually fit too, with the playing cards and everything else. I just really like the way this is done. So first model, we'll go ahead and put that in the car show. Here is the new version, which looks super cool. Specter Flame, now we have the Specter Flame. Hot rod 5 spokes. Obviously what is that, a 10-spoke front wheel. I mean, the look is completely different. I could see people mistaking these as two totally different castings. But they're not. Opening doors, not going to worry about opening them. But the detail, and I'll try and go up. Well, actually, this is hard to open, so I'm not going to do it. But there's a lot of detail in the interior as well. Brendan probably wants me to open it, but watching me struggle to open it up, I just prefer it this way. But it looks fantastic on the inside. So that is the 32 Ford. Big fan of that one. How can you not be? Right? It's just a really cool casting. Love the hot rods. Feeling that one. And then last one, of course, this one is cool. A lot of people have wanted this one. Hot Wheels wanted to make sure it happened. There's been a lot of Ryu Asada Tribute models this year, and obviously that's been well-deserved by the great Ryu Asada, who we lost. It's been a year and a half now. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, Honda S2000 and Specter Flame Gold. I'll go ahead and get this one out. I think most of these, some of you maybe don't have it yet, just based on how it's being distributed. But here is the model. Cool artwork with Ryu Asada on the front. There's the rider. You can freeze that and look at that numbers wise. 30,000 on this one. This one was towards the end at 27,686. All right, if you don't know, and I think it's been well documented, the Honda S2000 was the first, and I've talked about it a ton. The Honda S2000 was the first casting that Ryu Asada did for Hot Wheels. He was actually still at the time working for Matchbox, doing an amazing amount of cool realistic castings for Matchbox, and then he did this one as almost like a guest designer for Hot Wheels, did the S2000, and then, maybe a year or two later, he actually jumped ship, crossed the hallway in the design center to the Hot Wheels side, and he designed for Hot Wheels after that. But the S2000, not only is it significant because it was his first casting, but it was also based on his car. Now, he had a more stock S2000, so it didn't have this kit with the big spoiler and everything else and the hard top. His was the convertible, like two-seater roadster, right? But he did this one in very much a Hot Wheels style. So I'm not going to go through all of the S2000s. The first way you can look at it is this is the second RLC model. The first was done, this is before, I think they just wanted to do the S2000. They've done it everywhere. It's been a super treasure hunt. Now it's RLC. It's everything. It's been pretty much everywhere. But they did this kind of cool copper Specter Flame color with the 6-spoke rims and everything else. It's a very, very cool, clean version of the S2000, which has taken, it's taken on a little bit more value of late. At first, it was not the most sought after casting or sought after version of the S2000, but that one was kind of cool. Here's the angle I'll take though on this one. Instead of showing all the S2000s, because there's like a jillion of them, if you wanted to have like the quintessential Ryu Asada collection of S2000s, like you can't get them all, you don't want to pursue them all, there are 3 previous versions. This is based on his S2000 was yellow. The first version he did was yellow. So I have pulled out those. Now they're going to be harder to get than others. The first one is the actual very first Honda S2000 that Ryu Asada did. And for Hot Wheels, he did the casting and it was released in yellow. We did this one because I've shown this one before. I actually showed it recently when they released the Tribute model. R Asada on the windshield. Very plain in yellow, but it got the front and rear tampos. Very cool, clean version. This is the very, very first S2000. You want to look, if you're looking on eBay, you want to look for the R Asada on the windshield, and you want to look for these PR5 wheels with the just the yellow-lipped rims. That was the very first. That is the quintessential S2000 if you need it, if you want it, and you want to collect Ryu Asada's models. The second one would be the Tribute model that was made to as a tribute to that casting and to that model, where they brought back the yellow, a slightly different shade. They put in chrome PR5s and they put the Rio Tribute on the side, but everything else is essentially the same. Plain yellow, black interior. It matches, right? It matches the 2 models. So there's the pair of basics, right? One from, I think, 2000, I'm going to say 8, 9, 10, something like that. I could be wrong on that. And then the Tribute one from 2022. The third yellow version is the Real Tuffy. It's this guy. This is the convention model that was done as a tribute, or as a when they honored Ryu Asada, celebrating Ryu Asada October 6, 2016. Hot Wheels convention, we're at convention week this week. The Thursday night dinner always honors typically a designer from Mattel, and in 2016 they picked Ryu Asada. The designer who they're honoring that night gets to pick the model they want to do, and Rio decided to do the first one, the Honda S2000. Debuted in 2011. There we go. Steve Vandervaart did the selection. This one's rare. There was only 1,500 made. This is number 420, and then some have the sticker on it celebrating Ryu Asada, and then this is the model. So I have this one that I got at the convention. I was there for the dinner for Ryu Asada. That's a special one. It's going for a pretty penny, as you can imagine. It's a highly, highly sought after model just in general, but it's also because of the tribute models to Ryu Asada. That is definitely one to have. Here it is loose, so you can kind of see the details. They basically took the yellow S2000 and added more details. The R Asadas on the windshield, just like the first version. They did put the logo on the hood, which I could do without, but that's okay. And yeah, front and rear decos. They put the Watt rims on it. They just added more detail, right? They made the roof black. They added some details on the front and on the back, so it just became a super premium version, right? This one has the metal chassis as well, of the very first Ryu Asada model. So that would be the third one you want. And then, of course, the fourth is the RLC, done in the very similar style as the convention model, but obviously in Specter Flame Yellow, which obviously comes out as gold. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. Yeah, I would say if there was any collection you want of Ryu Asada models, I mean, he did so many cool castings for both Matchbox and Hot Wheels, and we went through that a while ago when recently, like soon after he passed away. But if you want just something simple, the problem is there's 4 yellow models, but the issue is this one is super hard to acquire. I think they're going up over 1,000 at this point. Here it is. Just beautiful. It really is Specter Flame Yellow. Once you pull it out, you don't get the gold vibe as much. You really do get bright Specter Flame Yellow. That is what I'm taking from this. Super, super clean. Really good use of the 10-spoke rims, which makes this one, to me, like the best version. Just in general aesthetics, I think the rims work really well. I can't remember. I think his were chrome. or like kind of, you know, that silver rim on his stock S2000. But looks really cool. I think I don't know if the license plate may have been his license. If you see that on the back, I'd have to look. And maybe go and look up his car, and you might see it. Acura NSX is a good Ryu Asada model too, but the S2000 has a lot of meaning just because it was the first one he did, and it was based on his car. There you go. So there it is. I'm up to date now on the RLC. There's more stuff to come, obviously, more models to come. But fun to do this, to look at the Ryu Asada S2000s, and there is that collection of yellow, which is definitely worth pursuing. If you can't get the convention one, at least get those two basics. They're cool to have if you don't have them already. Oh, I should put them in order. Actually, if they're truly in order. There they are, like that. All right, everybody. You guys tell me what you think. You caught up on RLC? Did you get all these? You guys tell me. Thanks, everybody. Bye.